Okay, I've got a nice blank piece of paper and something to make a mark on it, so let's doodle. I'm trying to keep this doodle as an abstract piece, but things happen, and next thing you've drawn a running man, and then he isn't a running man anymore. That's good. And you've then drawn a face with little bird legs, which doesn't make any sense at all, which is what I like. I don't think things should make sense until you are well into the drawing, and then you pick little bits out. So, having said that, I've just drawn a dinosaur. And a tortoise. So there you go. And I put an eye in that face shape thing there, so I suppose you could call it a figurative abstract. I think that's a thing, actually. Okay, I've started early with my outlining pen because I don't intend to put colour on this one. If you put your colour on after your outline pen, you're in a bit of trouble, because these paint pens that I use to colour these in, they're not easy to control, and working to a line is very difficult. You're better off putting the line in afterwards, because the line holds the colour shape and makes it more vibrant, and for some reason it also makes the blacks look more intense. Anyway, if you put the colour on after, you run into all sorts of problems, and it gets into a bit of a mess, and you'd have to sit and watch me tidy it all up. So this is going to be a simple monochrome. When I say monochrome, there's lots of line work and some bits and pieces to go in to finish it off. So bear with me. It's going to be a fun one. Now, you see those marks on the back of the tortoise? I've been told, or maybe I haven't, maybe I made it up, that they're distinctive to individual tortoises, so you can, like fingerprints, so you can identify your tortoise if it gets lost, if you happen to have a photograph of it. Actually, I might be talking nonsense there, so I'd forget I said that if I was you. I defy anybody to watch this and not say, "Oh, I'd like to have a go at that." It's quite therapeutic just watching it, let alone doing it. I certainly get a lot of pleasure out of it, and I think everybody should have a go. You don't need these fancy pens and stuff. Kids' crayons, gel pens, which are incredibly cheap, and glitter pens. Oh, I'm going to do a special video on glitter pens, because they're lovely things and very, very effective. Oh dear, that's a bit clunky down the bottom there. I'll come back to that and I'll sort it out. I don't like that ugly little shape there. Here we go, but it's coming on nicely. Yes, I know what you're thinking. I've decided to go with some colour after all, but I'm keeping it well away from the white keyline work, so I don't have to tidy it up later. And this is a new thing for me, and if it works out, these little islands of colour in the middle of my shapes will become de rigueur, I think, for my colour paint pen doodles. I say that, the next time out I'll forget what I said and I'll be away doing something else. That's the other nice thing about doodling. You can pick up any old thing. And I love the fact if you put two dots in a shape, it becomes a thing. Any shape becomes a thing. Oh look, there's a cliche for you. I've done a green dinosaur and a green turtle. I might fix that later. Okay, let's have some fun with this little white outliner pen and just put in some detail. I don't know what that is. It looks like some sort of shrimp thing floating around there behind the eye. And that, I think, is a devil fish. I don't know if there is such a thing as a devil fish, but there is now. You see how you create these little areas of interest, and without really thinking about it, you're getting your creative juices flowing. It's great. Everybody should do that. I've said this before, shouldn't I? I mean, the sense of well-being when you've finished it and you look down and think, wow, I've created this doodle. Let's call it a doodle, because nobody can be judgmental about doodles. They are, after all, just doodles. On the front of my videos, the title thumbnail says, "Is it art or just a doodle? Good question." But you can make greetings cards out of these, or send them to friends, or stick them in cheap over-the-counter frames. They look terrific. They're not likely to become family heirlooms, of course, but they do give you the pleasure of looking at them and saying, oh, I did that. Anyway, we're getting to the end there now, and so I need to say, press the subscribe button, please, and I'll be doing more of these, and you'll get the pleasure of seeing them. There we go. I think that's just about fade to black time. Yes, it is.